Here's NBC's Tom Costello.
How many times has it happened to you? You hit a pothole and it ruins your tires and rims.
I'm mad. I'm real upset. I'm real upset because, we shouldn't have to drive on highways like this.
The nation's civil engineers warn America's underinvestment in infrastructure could undermine America's global competitiveness. Take bridges, for example. Of 600,000 nationwide, 46,000 are structurally deficient. The World Economic Forum ranks the U.S. 13th in infrastructure, behind countries big and small, including Singapore, Japan, South Korea, France, and the U.K. China is 36th and climbing, as it and other countries upgrade railroads, ports, airports, broadband, clean water, roads, and bridges. If you travel internationally, you've probably seen it yourself. Driving across Belgium, Austria, Switzerland, and Germany, the roads are in remarkable condition. In fact, I haven't driven across a single piece of chewed-up road or a pothole. And while the U.S. has only one high-speed train that briefly hits 150 miles per hour in the Northeast, Asian and European trains travel much faster. NBC's Claudio Lavagna on the Red Arrow, Rome to Naples.
This train will hit a top speed of 190 miles per hour. For decades, Europe has invested heavily in high-speed trains, from here in Italy in the south to Norway and Finland in the north, cutting down on air and road traffic and rushing people between cities.
I think they're absolutely fantastic, always on time.
Meanwhile, China is investing heavily across the board. NBC's Janice Mackey-Frayer is in Beijing.
China is already equipped with some of the world's biggest airports. This is Dashing. It's Beijing's newest. The plan now to build at least a dozen airports a year, and by 2035 to have enough high-speed rail lines to circle the Earth twice.
Back in the U.S.,
Where is the ship going?
So this vessel will travel about 30 days. It is going to Vietnam, Hong Kong, 3 ports in China, and Singapore.
the Port of New Orleans is spending $1.5 billion just to accommodate the newest ships that carry double the cargo from Asian ports that are already big enough.
People need supplies. They need goods. That's how products get to stores. That's how products get to homes.
That global cargo traffic only increased during the pandemic. Importantly, in many countries with more modern roads, ports, and railroads, citizens do pay more in taxes. The U.S. Transportation Secretary says it is time for a big national upgrade.
We've been getting by on the investments that were made generations ago when we were willing to make big investments.
With America's competitiveness on the line, fixing the nation's infrastructure has bipartisan support. The sticking point is how much we're willing to pay. Now, for how much all of this will cost, the nation's civil engineers estimate $2.6 trillion to truly bring the country's infrastructure back up to standards. Right now, we have the biggest economy in the world. We're not even in the top 10 in terms of quality of infrastructure. But the debate here in Washington is over how much to pay for it and whether they should raise anybody's taxes to pay for it.
Images coming in after a bridge collapsed onto a Washington, D.C. highway. The awful scene today, the bridge flattened, several cars destroyed, several people rushed to the hospital, in fact. Authorities believe it all happened when a truck slammed into the bridge. ABC's Rachel Scott tonight from the scene.
Tonight, authorities are investigating this terrifying scene. a pedestrian bridge collapsing onto one of the busiest highways in the nation's capital. Officials believe this truck slammed into the bridge, sending it crashing down. Drivers trapped in their cars, buried under the debris along I-295.
We had a collision with the bridge right here, which separated the bridge from its mooring. The result of that collision caused multiple cars to be involved.
At least 5 people were rushed to the hospital. Tonight, all expected to survive.
You can see some of the mangled concrete and twisted steel that has collapsed right on top of that truck. All this shutting down 6 lanes of traffic.
Deborah Tracy works in a residential home across the street. She was just steps away from the scene when she heard the crash.
I heard like a crunching, scraping sound, like nails on a chalkboard, then a boom. I'm just thanking God no one was killed.
Crews now racing to clear the wreckage and inspecting nearby bridges along the highway to make sure they weren't damaged by the truck.
And Rachel, everyone has survived this, and you've learned more tonight about a recent inspection of that bridge.
Yeah, David, the mayor saying tonight that this bridge was inspected earlier this year and that everything checked out. This stretch of the highway is expected to be closed until tomorrow. Crews will be working through the night to clear out the debris and the rubble.